Good afternoon, Americans. This is your favorite alien in Santa Barbara here on the afternoon of Friday, March 19th, 2021, TGIF. And today I wanted to do an editorial on pigmentation, perception, and President Biden. The three P's: pigmentation, perception, and President Biden. Well, earlier this week, we had a guy commit 8 murders here in Atlanta, and all 8 were Asians, and they were in the massage parlors that he attacked. He attacked 3, I believe, massage parlors. Now, mind you, that is the pigmentation part of this thing. The perception part is what happened. The coronavirus started last year, and sure, China had a hand in it. How deep, we don't know. But as far as even 2064, the European Alliance report said that China had a substantial part in that epidemic or pandemic. Then we jump to conclusions again, which is what the Americans have all done. This is the second P, perception. Well, the Asians are responsible for this. It's the nation state of China, not the Asians. Look at what happened in 9/11. Oh, the ragheads are responsible for it. It was a group of terrorists based in Pakistan and Afghanistan. And then you had, Bin Laden. Well, he was a little been late on this one, wasn't he? But every Muslim in 2001 for the next decade, and even today, are viewed as terrorists. Yeah. 1941, Pearl Harbor. All Japanese were put in concentration camps. You call them detention camps. I call them concentration camps here. But notice you didn't put any Italians and any Germans on there. They were your other bad guys of World War II. And they declared war on you. Yeah. The Japanese had a plan. Just like you had a plan to mess up the Japanese, remember? You're the ones that forced them into the corner by pushing them. And that's what President Roosevelt was doing. Pushing them and trying to push the American people into war, and he couldn't do it with Lend-Lease. So he started pushing the Asians. And bingo, Pearl Harbor. It's a perception you have here, Americans. The perception. That's the second P. The third P, President of the United States. Like I said, President Roosevelt. President George W. Bush in 2001 allowed the perception of all aliens or Muslims are bad. It treated them like they treated the Japanese 60 years earlier. There was some bad apple Japanese here. There was some bad apple Muslims here. There's always this. There's bad apple of everything. Blacks, Africans, Latins, whites. You got a lot of bad apple whites. White supremacists, for one. You see what I mean? It's a perception. And to make matters worse here, since January and February of 2020, there's been a lot of Asians that have been attacked in every city in the country. Atlanta's had their share of them here before this. San Francisco, New York City's had a whole bunch of shares of Asians being attacked for no reason at all other than being Asian. Nothing was done about that. Because the Asians were not like the African Americans that, oh, look at that, George Floyd got killed, yeah. It's a perception issue that you have there, African Americans. Us Latins know it, the Asians know it. And you notice that they didn't go up there and started terrorizing and burning up things when the Asians got killed. And there's a lot of them that got killed in the last year. These 8 Asians that are here, and I'm not demeaning them. I'm just saying that the perception that's going to come out of this is going to be terrible. Because now the President of the United States is taking an interest on this. Just like President Bush took an interest on it later on in the second term. Too little, too late. But the perception that President Biden's giving here is, oh, look at this. Massage parlors are involved. And Asian women got killed. But what happened to the other Asians that for one reason or another didn't amount to anything? And the newspapers and the news televisions and radio gave them their usual 5 seconds, beep, and gone. But this time you had a killing of 8 by a white American, Anglo-Saxon, I believe he is. Therefore, he got special attention. And those that attacked, some of them were black that attacked the Asians in different cities, like New York City. And they didn't get much fanfare, did they? But this white guy, he's getting fanfare. He's 21 years old. And he said because he had a sex addiction. Yeah. Interesting, huh? You killed a person because you're sex addiction. How could you pull the trigger on that? That is hate to me. You can't say sex addiction. That's a Tiger Woods type of situation there, and that does not work here. It's like the same guy that pulled the trigger on those church guys in South Carolina a couple years ago. Well, I didn't like the church, so I went over there and shot him. See what I mean, Americans? Perception. And then you got President Biden coming in for these 8 people here in Atlanta. Why didn't he go to New York City when they were attacked? Or President Trump before him did this? Why? You had people getting attacked in New York City, Atlanta, San Francisco, and a lot of other cities. Got Asians being singled out. For no reason at all. Just because they were Asians. And this is what is the third P is. The perception that President Biden here is pursuing this with massage parlors. Can you see the optic this is going to bring up against your right-wing Republicans and your left-wing Democrats? That's a political ammunition, which it shouldn't be. President Biden should have said, the best thing I can do for these people is say, I am sorry, and bring up the National Commission and appoint people from different races and set up these questions like, do we really want to be segregated? Do we really want to be separate? We're all Americans. Whether we're Asian descent, African descent, Hispanic descent, Indian descent, or whatever. Whether we're transgenders, that's the what's-its, the he-she's and the she-he's, and the wannabes, we get together. First is to eliminate the pigmentation and factions issue here. That would be a lasting testament to these 8 people that died here in Atlanta. But I don't see anybody picking that mantle up at all. I see President Biden using this as a political opportunist moment. That is not the way to look at it. Come here? No. But bring the families of the 8s to the White House? Yes. That's a very family, informal, and not make it political like you're trying to do here. And make it like a political octave. Oh, I'm here because the Asians, I've lowered them flags at half-mast. Really? Why didn't you lower the half-mast for the other people that died? or got injured in the last year and a half. This is my question, Americans. Do you understand what I mean? I don't see a single person, let alone the President of the United States, saying, we have to eliminate the pigmentation and the factions issue here. Both religious, political, and other kinds of factions. We have to eliminate the pigmentations. There is no difference between an African American, an Asian, a Caucasian, and a Native American. There is no difference there at all. There is no difference between a transgender, a gay, a he, she, and a what's it. None. But I don't see nobody, especially the President of the United States, do that. But to do what he's doing and causing this kind of octave that's going to come back and bite him in the derriere, this is terrible. That's like President Roosevelt doing the Japanese internment camp. Or President George W. Bush saying, oh, I'm just going to let this fly. Yeah. This is your favorite alien in Bubba. What are your comments? Good day.